Right. Shorthand, higher grade second paper, elaboration and condensation. Passage number 8, model paper number 8, 5 seconds. Now write down elaboration number 1. Private educational institutions are collecting donations for all new admissions from kindergarten to degree colleges. These institutions are resorting to all kinds of malpractices in the examination system also. Repeated warnings of stern action by government is of no avail. In spite of teaching grants and various types of scholarships, the evil still exists in one form or other, and not only the poor parents but also the students as a whole are the sufferers. Liberal grants for construction of buildings and regulated levy of tuition fees to meet salaries of teachers and maintenance charges may be a corrective. Draft letter from a parent to the Minister for Education stressing the need to put an end to this practice. Number 2. Population of India has almost doubled in 30 years. The means are continuously outstripped by the increasing numbers, thwarting the economic progress and neutralizing the benefits of plans. Family planning is more important than green revolution. Educated and employed classes are no doubt taking advantage of family planning programs. Laborers and beggars with chronic diseases seem to be completely neglected. There is ever need to compulsorily bring all classes of people under this program. Draft a letter to the editor of a daily drawing the attention of the authorities to this omission. Number 3. You are an engineering graduate having worked in the electricity board under 1 million job scheme. The period of training was long over and you are not absorbed in the board. Overlooking you and similar cases, the board called fresh applications for appointment as junior engineers. Draft representation to the Minister for Power for drawing his attention and stressing the need to give preference to candidates like you. Number 4. Frame a question as asked by Sri Sriramulu and answer as given by the Minister for Public Works in the Legislative Assembly from the following. The Railway Board has completed the survey of the proposed Nadikudi BB Nagar railway line. It helps passenger traffic and transport of food grains under Nagarjun Sagar project. Further, this railway line, when completed, will considerably reduce costs of transport of goods to Guntur and other nearby important business centers in that area as compared to present costs. Railway Board will take up the work when funds are made available, cannot say when exactly the work will be started. Number 5. Most of the towns lack protected water supply and underground drainage. The position has worsened with rapid urbanization and haphazard growth. Perennial rivers passing nearby and people suffering for water is a paradox. This is a field of potential employment to engineers and others and use of material locally available involving no foreign exchange. Funds earmarked for medical and health can be saved if only towns are kept very clean and assured of copious water supply and drainage facilities. Draft letter from the chairman of a special grade municipality to the director of municipal administration. Condensation. Replying to the debate, the Minister for Agriculture said, Sir, I welcome the opportunity which has been provided by this House to discuss this statement which I made the other day before the honorable members. I welcome this opportunity of removing some misgivings which are entertained by the honorable members. It also gives me at the same time an opportunity to clarify some of the details of this statement which I have before the House. Before doing that, I would like to make a few observations. Honorable members have expressed views that so far as the matter or food is concerned, it has to be treated as a national problem. I do agree with those who have suggested that so far as this problem is concerned, let us have a national outlook and let us not bring politics into it. Let us try to see how we can overcome the difficulties with which we are faced and how we can make food available to our people at a reasonable price and how we can help in the increased production of food grains and cereals and other commodities so that we may not have to face this kind of difficulty in the future. Let us have a program in which all parties can be combined together to achieve our objective. The second thing which I would like to point out is this. I think the time has come when we should be clear in our mind that it is not because of preconceived ideas that we have placed a certain policy before this House and before the country last year. We thought that the policy of takeover would help us in having an effective control over the surplus so that there may be no scope for speculators on the one hand and there may be no distortion of prices on the other, and it may be possible for us to provide the food grains which are the essential commodities for the existence of our people at a reasonable price. That was the main objection or idea underlying this policy. Now, the question before us is why this policy was not a success. There are a number of reasons for this. One of the main reasons was the very honorable members who are now criticizing us had created such a psychology in the country that it became impossible for us to obtain food grains from this cultivator. This was a policy placed before the country by the entire House and it can be implemented through the people of our country. Dictatorial form of government would only give a goodbye to democracy, and if we have to say goodbye to democracy, to freedom of expression, to freedom of thought and to freedom of action, then only they will make that policy a success. The other method is by persuasions. We have to make that policy a success. We have accepted the democratic method of persuasion to see to it that the policy is accepted by our people. The only way to make that policy a success is to run cooperatives effectively at the lowest level, not for the purpose of obtaining surplus food grains from the cultivators, but also for the purpose of providing the necessary inputs, necessary articles which the cultivators require to boost up the production. Until it is possible for us to set up cooperative societies at the lowest village levels, it may not be possible for us to persuade a large number of people to accept the policy which can yield results after it has been accepted.